Welcome to the future, my friends. Today we'll be taking an in-depth look at the iconic Planet Express ship from Futurama, the beloved, often canceled, phoenix of a sci-fi comedy that just keeps on rising from the ashes. The USS Planet Express ship, aka good old Bessie, is the brainchild of designer and builder Professor Hubert J. Farnsworth, and is crewed most often by Captain Taranga Leela and First Officers Philip J. Fry and Bender Rodriguez, though she certainly can hold and be crewed by other members of the Futurama cast. Bessie is a green, electric mucus green specifically, rocket ship designed for operation in atmospheres between 0 and 1, a design specification that is often exceeded. Sporting a dark matter reactor that operates at an unprecedented 200% fuel efficiency when compared to other rocket ships of the day. Although she is also capable of operating on various other fuel sources such as whale oil when the situation necessitates. The reactor is capable of warping the space around the ship in such a manner that the Planet Express ship can reach eye-watering speeds of up to 99% of the new light speed. A huge boon for a lightly armed delivery ship that often takes on the most clinically insane deliveries the universe has to offer. A role that regularly necessitates a quick arrival and quicker still exodus from the customer's planet. Speaking of armaments, old Bessie is better armed than one might assume at first glance, not only featuring a dorsal mounted laser turret, but also featuring 2 bow torpedo tubes in addition to variable hull shielding. Now, if you don't mind, please join me on a pre-flight walk-around of this magnificent ship. On the bow, we can see the 2 torpedo tubes and the door to the multi-purpose assault ramp frontal landing gear, in addition to the opulent panoramic windshield, complete with windshield wipers for the removal of pesky space bugs that might become unintentionally splattered across its panes. Continuing around towards the port side of the ship, we can see the lateral blister that wraps around the entire ship for protection against door dings and minor interstellar traffic accidents, in addition to the dorsally mounted laser turret that doubles as a hatch to the roof of the ship for the occasional sun tanning or fishing trips. Now, as we come around to the port side proper, take note of the 4 portholes offering space-side views on A deck, the cargo bay doors and elevator, in addition to that truly beautiful silhouette. Towards the rear now, we can really admire the 3 large and in charge and totally not compensating for anything vertical fins, in addition to the engine exhaust ports and thrust vectoring ball-mounted engine outlets. At the rear, we can carefully, bravely, and quickly take a look down the business end of the 18 space-bending engine outlets before hurriedly moving to the starboard side before Bender and Fry accidentally vaporize us. Completing our circuit here, please take note of the access ladder and exterior access door that is often used for ship-to-ship docking procedures while at sea. Other notable features of the ship that aren't depicted in this particular configuration are as follows. A shipboard AI that is capable of intimate relations with crew member Bender Rodriguez, an elephant locator for detecting large and or woolly beasts, a giraffe net for all your giraffe catching needs, a nose-mounted drill for journeys beneath the planet's surface, a long diamond filament rope that is occasionally used for fishing, and of course, suctioning collapsible landing gear, a gravity generator of some description so the crew members don't have to float, a tail attachment for visiting the lost city of Atlanta more than just a Delta hub, an anti-grav skiff for moving heavy cargo such as pillows, and finally, a large, powerful winch for raising and lowering goods from the cargo bay. With the pre-flight walk-around now complete, let us embark upon a tour of the Planet Express's ship interior, starting with the bridge on A deck. The bridge is the control center of the ship, complete with a CIC of sorts, a possible HAL 9000 reference of a control pad, and the primary location where all the crew members can be found, and most certainly is actually located where this fine graphic says it is, unlike perhaps a lot of the other rooms to be discussed. Also featured in this room is a ladder well to B deck on the port side, and the bulkhead that we shall now go through that leads to the rest of A deck. Here in this corridor, we have access to the head, or bathroom, which is complete with a shower, and access to the main ladder well that spans all 3 decks of the ship, in addition to an access door leading to the ship's crew quarters. Here, we can find Leela's stateroom, as close to the bridge as possible, as is standard practice in shipbuilding. as well as 5 other rooms, one of which is used as the primary living quarters for Fry and Bender, in addition to a ladder well leading up to the dorsal turret and a hatch that I would assume must feature an airlock of some description. Proceeding further aft, we find the starboard airlock leading to the starboard access door. Imagine that. And the laundry room brig combo on the port side, as well as an access well to B deck we will travel down shortly, after a brief visit to the brain room, where, as you guessed it, the ship's AI brain is located. Traveling down the aforementioned ladder, we will find ourselves in the maintenance corridors of B deck, near the engine room access ladder and the mess hall. After enjoying our complimentary tour meal sponsored by Slurm, we will then proceed to the recreation deck to do some mandated partying, and hopefully burn off some of those calories and toxins we just ingested. Good news, everyone, if we can't manage to burn off those pesky toxins, at least the med bay happens to be adjoining the rec space. Similarly, adjoining the rec room is the previously mentioned main access ladder that leads up into the corridors of A deck and down just forward of the cargo bay on C deck, in addition to the galley that is complete with a coffee maker and microwave for all of your Jiffy Pop popping needs, in addition to an access ladder directly to the bridge, perfect in the case of a Munchies emergency. Now, after quickly backtracking to the main ladder well, we descend into the bowels of the ship, also known affectionately as C deck. Here we find ourselves just aft of the torpedo room that features 4 torpedo tubes, although tubes 1 and 2 are just for show, as one does, and just port of the airlock leading to the assault ramp. Proceeding aft, we find ourselves where the delivery magic actually happens, in the cargo bay, which is complete with a spacious central cargo elevator, in addition to 2 underbelly doors for when you need to quickly airdrop your cargo or munitions in order to stay on schedule. Time, after all, is money in the delivery business and in life. Continuing towards the rearmost section of C deck, we pass through the landing gear well, into which the rear gear retracts, and arrive at the engine access corridor that features a ladder well connecting to the maintenance corridors of B deck and to the business end of the ship, aka the engine room. Here the dark matter engines rip space a new one, whilst inexplicably producing gravity inside the ship. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we get into the rooms that, like a platonic relationship between a man and a woman, are entirely theoretical. Starting with the basement, a storm shelter complete with a storm door that is depicted to be at the lowest level of the ship and is complete with a window for tornado watching and apparently catching. Next, above the bridge, there's allegedly a lion cage complete with a bona fide lion that isn't strictly happy to be there, along with a mystical map room that allegedly holds bundles of maps used for navigation. And finally, a panic room that is hidden behind one of the bulkheads that is only revealed when one does the truly absurd thing of reaching for a recipe book and not simply chowing down on Bachelor Chow. And that, my friends, concludes our tour of the USS Planet Express ship. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Hypnotoad demands you like and subscribe, especially if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. Also, if you just happen to be one of those strange people like me that is a fan of the Fallout universe in addition to the Futurama universe, consider joining me while I attempt to envision what the cast of Futurama would be like in the world of atomic annihilation in an episode I've affectionately coined as Falloutorama. Spy Dingo out.